Okay, so this is the camera kit. I've got it on one of my tractors. We're going to put it on the RTV. And the whole objective is to see a lime drop spreader that sits right behind the RTV. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to put it up there, or if I'm going to have to put it back here, or if I should make it an option for both, which I think is what I'm going to do. So we're going to open this up right here. I haven't opened this one yet. It's a wireless camera, which on an RTV we could have made this wired, but wireless camera. I say wireless, of course it does require power. You've got your actual monitor. A little hard to do this with one hand. So there's our monitor. You can see it has an antenna port. I hope this covers somewhere. It has an SD card in it. It's interesting. How big is this SD card? 32 gig SD card, it says. I hope that covers in here. I don't feel it in this bag. Alright. But anyway, it uses a 2.5 millimeter jack for power. Of course, it doesn't require much amperage or anything like that. Then we pull this off. And it actually comes with a lot of stuff. It came with 2 antennas, one for the recorder, one for the camera. It comes with a power wire. Now, again, these wires are teeny tiny. It's really fun to get them to crimp into anything. So soldering sometimes is the best. So there's one. We're going to call this one for the camera. And then there is one for the monitor. Okay, because the camera is going to be a further run, we're going to use that one. And to do a second one, I actually have 2.5 millimeter jacks that I can wire in. So that's no problem. Alright. So here's your camera. It's got its own little mount. Usually I end up mounting these to some kind of ram mount so I can take them off and put them back on. This RTV is generally stored in inside, so I don't know that I will do that this time. But so there's the camera itself. There is a mount here, which I actually don't remember having. There's a mount that looks like it might go to the Yeah, I don't remember having that, but we're going to mount it a little more permanent than that. That's a nice little thing, though. It's actually a decent little mount. I don't remember having that on the other ones. So then we got our sun visor for the monitor. We've got our mount for the monitor. And then we've got, of course, some other mounting accessories. Looks like we've got some double-sided tape. I don't believe we will be using that. Wouldn't hurt though. And then there's actually a cigarette lighter adapter that you could run up for your monitor or whatever. Not sure really what we're going to do there. I tend to hardwire things. Alright, so that's what we've got here. I love these. There's just like stuff laying around in the bottom of this thing. Anyway, that's what we've got. We've got to get it wired up. And of course, there's an instruction manual. We got to get it mounted to where we want it and then wire it up. So I definitely need to make the camera where I think I can either mount it down here under the bed where you can see, because I think even up at the top of the cab with the distance to the drop spreader, I do not think it will work. I think that you won't be able to see it still, so it's going to have to be mounted back here underneath the bed somewhere back here. But we'll figure that out as we go. All right, and we're gonna get started on this, and we'll see you in a bit. All right, guys, we're gonna continue on this mission to put a camera on the RTV. We actually kind of jerry-rigged it. Unfortunately, I didn't get some of it on video. It was a little hard to get the camera in there and work at the same time. So I've already got some of the stuff wired up. Actually, everything was already wired up because I used existing wiring on the RTV. I do have to change over some connectors today, which I'll video. Did end up mounting the camera underneath the bed, which I'll show you guys. Ordered some extra RAM mount accessories to put the monitor in the front of the RTV. Really, originally I zip tied the monitor up just so I can make sure it's going to work and put the wires where it's supposed to go. But we'll show you all that today, show you how we mounted it, where we mounted it, and show you how it works. So keep watching, and we'll be back in a few minutes to update the wiring. Alright guys, so this is the back of the RTV right here. And as you can see, the camera, and it's still wet and cold out here, but the camera is right here, probably a little bit hard to see in the shade there. And right now I have it kind of wired into the existing wiring harness back here, just with some spade terminals. I've ordered the correct style plug for that. We're going to go ahead and pop that on there. It does have a DC 2.5 inch or 2.5 millimeter plug on the camera from the factory. So we did mount it. If you look right here, there's one beam. It's not direct center like I'd like it, but if it was direct center, it'd be hitting the transmission. Actually looked at another version of an RTV at a dealership this week, RTV-X900, I think it was, or 1140. The bed's much higher up off of this, so you could actually mount it to the center if you wanted to. But here in a minute, we're gonna redo this so it's not just two spade connectors, and then we're actually gonna use all the GoPro, or not GoPro, the RAM mounts to hang this up. So this is already one piece of the RAM mount right there, which needs tightened because it's a little rattly. So I've got this piece. I've got to mount the piece to this, and then it will all hook up, and you can adjust it and all that good stuff depending on who's driving. But that's where we're at. We should finish that up here shortly. This part of it, like I said, for the actual monitor up there, is just wired in directly to keyed accessory on the RTV itself. I did previously put in this fuse box and everything, but this is fused through the main fuse box here. But this is for extra accessories that we put on the RTV, like the sprayers and stuff like that that we run. But all right, we'll be back here in a little bit, and we'll finish this up. All right, so we're gonna unplug this thing and do it the right way instead of it just kind of sitting there. We ordered these, of course, off of Amazon, like everything else we ordered. So we ordered these. There's quite a few of them. They'll work for other spots on the RTV because there's plenty of other spots that use these. Had to order the male and female side. We'll get these open right here. Oh, no Ziploc. That's weak. Alright, so we gotta open this up. I don't want to open it up too far. Come here. Alright. Put that up here in just a minute. Throw them cans out the way. Alright, so we need to find the right body, which should be this one. Alrighty then. Yep, that would be it. That's the right body there. Then we need 2 male pins. Hey, look, the bag of pins is actually in a Ziploc bag. But I don't know if I can get out through this hole. There it goes. So we'll need 2 of these male pins that are in that bag. But wait, there's more. Because this is on a DC jack, and Red goes to red, black goes to black. But to look at that, red is on the flat side. Red goes on the flat, black goes up and down. Alright. We've got to cut these off. Pull those off, we'll clean that up in a minute. Cut off these. These are really small wires, so I'm actually going to kind of twist them up if I can. And I already tell you this DC jack right here, 2.5 millimeter jack, is copper clad aluminum because it doesn't behave properly. It doesn't behave like copper. Pull this over just a little bit here. A little bit more girth. I've got the switch out. My crimpers here, they're quick connect, so I need to switch these out for this one. Take one towards the front. Make sure it works. All right. Get us one of these nail pins, 2 nail pins. Got them. So I've kind of crimped that over just a little bit right there. And there's 2 different sides to these crimpers. You have to make sure you crimp them in the right way. One side goes to, I don't like that. Put that one on this one. Nope, that was right. Should go in the middle. Or not. Stick this one up in here. Make sure it comes all the way through. Crimp it really good. Do that again because it did not crimp really good. Come on now. That did not crimp very good. Don't like it. Give that one a squeeze. That should work a little better. Twist this one up again. Fold. Grab our other pin. And make sure you put it in here the right way. Goes. That one crimped a lot better. Alright. So we said red goes on the flat. Should go this way. Click. Black goes on up and down. Goes that way. There we go. We got a little adapter. Just plug it back in right here. Take my knife, cut this little blue tape that's right here. Out of there. Tape off. This one right here. I'll bend that down because it's up a little bit. And this one needs to actually go. Alright, so we had to actually change out the plug on the RTV because apparently they used something different than what I'm used to. But we just plug these right back in here. Make sure they go the right way. I said it's the exact same plug except for backwards. So, put that way. And now this will plug straight onto here. And that's it for wiring the camera. I'll leave some slack there so that it can move around. We want it away from that cable. That should be good. Alright, so the back is all wired and plugged in properly so it doesn't come out. We'll zip tie a couple pieces up there. Now we got to mount the actual camera or the monitor part up in the cab. Alright, so this is the new piece we bought. It should hold this pretty well. I want to try and get it up as high as I can to get it, make sure it stays out of the sun. And then this piece right here will go here, kind of. I might turn this around. I don't know how it's going to go yet. And then that's going to go there, and then this is going to mount like that. I hate that this is so big, but it's the only way you can get them in a ram mount. The only other thing I can do is turn this one around this way. Nope, I don't like that either. Tighten that one up real nice and good right there. Now we just got to mount this piece to that piece. Means I got to go get some screws, which I think I have. At least some of those. Oh yeah, perfect. Need 4 screws, like 10/24s. All right, so we're putting these 10/24 stainless bolts in there. Find the hole where it'll fit. Antenna's in the way. Very in the way. Now we just got to tighten it up. That's the wrong inch. It's gonna take forever. We ain't got a ratchet wrench because that was gonna suck. I am using nylock lock nuts on this so that it can't fall off. The RTV does have a tendency to vibrate. Oh, that's so much better than the other wrench. The only problem with these gear wrenches, I got them off a lady who is selling a bunch of stuff. They don't have the little lever on them, so if you're in between two objects real tight, you can't use these style gear wrenches, ratchet wrenches, because they'll get stuck and then you got to cut them off, then they're stuck forever. Ask me how I know that. All right, well, this thing can twist and turn and do whatever, and tighten these up really good. I do wish that big mount was a little bit smaller. I probably could have got away with using the 1-inch balls, but I've already got a bunch of 2-inch ball or 1.5-inch ball accessories, so that's what I'm using. Pull this down. We're gonna zip tie the rest of this up after we're all done here. Put some of my tools away. All right, so now we just turn the key on and there we go. We got our camera. It can be adjusted for different people. It can move, it can swing. It's even got the little things you can turn on and off. It actually records, though I never really plan on using the recordings off of this. But if it's not in the right place, you can just turn it and point it at you. If you want your passenger to be the one watching it, you can turn it towards them. I like it. That's it. We're done. We now have a camera on the RTV, a reverse camera. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next project.